without proof. You can guess, and I don't know unless I go to JLK's house and sit down at his computer and go through his bank account details and all of his invoices to see whether he's ever paid for view bottles. He could be the same as some of these names down here, TRMZ, Southsweet, Freshborns, could all also be doing it. You just can't. Reddit DayZ, Zombie Madness. Now, I was on there the other day. I don't go there too often, but I don't. I think this one might have popped up as an alert for me or something. But there was a bit of a. I took it as being a bit of a salty comment. But I'll put it up on screen now. Viewbotting, clickbait titles, and bot comments is the norm for DayZ videos. And I'll say it because this is there, but called out Nazar, JLK, and Cairo. Take advantage of all three of these to make these scripted types of videos. This is just a cheap way to make money. They know exactly how to milk views as they have been doing it for years. You saw this one as well, didn't you, Cobra?
Yeah, I think. So where do I start on this one? So I'm also on Reddit, and I read that, and I was like, oh, shit, Nazar, JLK, whoever else is mentioned, they're not going to like the look of that. So, but look, at the end of the day, look, content creation is quite simple. It isn't just about thumbnails and titles anymore, but if your thumbnail doesn't look great and popping, you're probably not going to get as many hits. And with regards to the titles, we all know, we're all fed up of, I've used them myself, for goodness sake. We all know that there are certain titles that bloody work and certain ones that don't. And if you try something new, and I've done it many times, you get less hits. So look, you can understand why people do it. I think the only thing there that I disagree with, because we know JLK, you know, we've looked at Cairo before, Nazar thinks we've made contact with. I think you know Nazar anyway. I think I've had a conversation with him in the past. The only thing out of those bits there, if I'm putting myself in their boots, you've got in the same sentence scripted videos. So I know for a fact that those people have put a lot of time and effort into their videos like I do. And we're talking a week to 2 weeks worth of editing, by the way. So look, everyone's entitled to their opinions and their views, but I don't think it's right to put out scripted videos and mention people's names unless you know for a fact that that is scripted. I mean,
you summed it up there, and there's a lot to unpack in this message. I took this as salty, and I told this person, I think you're being salty. You just don't like them for whatever reason, which you're 100% entitled to. You know, if you don't like someone, so be it. But there's so much shade being thrown here, Shawshank. The accusation of scripted type videos, view botting, bot comments, cheap revenue raking. I when I responded to the guy, I looked at JLK, because JLK is someone who I've interviewed in the past, and you know, I just had a chat with him just yesterday, I think it was, and he made a big mistake many years ago that he again reiterated to me yesterday. You know, I wish I could go back in time and fucking undo that. It was stupid of me, but without proof, you can guess, and I don't know unless I go to JLK's house and sit down at his computer and go through his bank account details and all of his invoices to see whether he's ever paid for view bottles. He could be the same as some of these names down here, TRMZ, Southsweet, Freshborns, could all also be doing it. You just can't tell. You can have a good idea, but unless you've got 100% concrete proof, Shawshank, it's impossible to find. Even Smoke could be doing it. I highly doubt it. I would be stunned if I found out Smoke was doing something like that. But I could be doing it right now with my 29 viewers. I could be view botting 20 of you. But unless to say stuff like this, it just struck me as salt for salt's sake. I don't like these guys. I don't like their type of content. I find it cheesy, so I'm going to shit on their parade and throw shade. What do you think of it, Shawshank?
I think it's kind of shaking the beehive where you don't need to shake it. Honestly, these guys, I watch them all the time. Pretty much everyone that you've mentioned, and who cares if they are or if they're not? Like the content is amusing to watch in the first place. They're great guys. So I choose to support them by watching their content, and so whether that's fake at the end of the day, whether it's view bots, scripts, like you said, who knows? Honestly, and until we can definitely prove that and say in a matter of fact that they are doing that or they're not, it's kind of none of our business.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot there that I could say.
Yeah.
For instance, there is a way. I'll very briefly touch on this. There is a way to work out some of this, and it's very simple. Me and Boydie had a chat about this during the week, right? If you've got a channel that has got, let's just say, 100k subs on your channel, right? And you're routinely putting videos out, you're hitting the algorithm, but yet you're only getting 20k views every week, every time you put a video out. Now, let me tell you this, that's something to be careful of. If you see that, then something isn't quite right there. The other thing is this, YouTube daily, if you look at their policies and their updates for the last 6 to 8 months, they are writing off and banning accounts every day, hundreds of accounts that have got bot viewed, anything to do with bots in it. Now, I'm not being funny, but you're talking about 3 of the biggest artists there. They're all on over 100k's worth of subs. JLK's over 700k. Nazar's on nearly 500, I think he's on now, right? So that is a massive, massive loss. Could you imagine if you're silly enough to pay, what, $100, $200, whatever it is, to pay for these bots? You've lost a lot of money. Your channel's gone. Why would you do that? When it comes to the scripting thing, that's the bot thing, right? You've got to be stupid to use the bots. That's the first thing. Secondly, when it comes to the scripted thing, all I'm going to say on this is this, right? I get comments all the time. Every content creator, I see Felicity's in here, Facility's in here even. I was speaking to him a little while ago. He gets it. We all get it. And there always going to be 3, 4, 5 comments on your video saying, this is just scripted, or it's the worst scripted video.
Everything gets accused of it. Yeah, it's
everything. Every day, you get it. But at the end of the day, if you don't get those comments, that's when you need to think about it. That's when you're doing something wrong. So
you're cheating, you're hacking, you're this, you're that.
Yeah,
it's salty. Salt.
So that's my view anyway.
Yeah. And, honestly, I pointed out to this guy that JLK has released 7 videos this year. You compare that to the streamers who, and this is not throwing shade at him, it's just a different style. Horses for courses. Some of these people, they're streaming every day or 5, 6 days a week. And then some of them are good enough, like Paul, the running man, he has an editor, Cooper, who does his stuff. But then there's others who are just grinding it themselves. They're doing their stream for their 6 to 10 hours a day, and then jumping off, remembering the bit that was interesting. They whack up a quick video of it and put that up, making a few shorts from it. And some of them are, uploading the entire VOD. They delist it from Twitch and put it up there. So, that's, some people would call that lazy content. I don't. I just call it content. As long as you're entertained. Someone mentioned that name, Frankie on PC. We found out, afterwards, a lot of his content was scripted.
But it doesn't matter, mate.
I look back and I go, oh, okay.
How many millions?
But I still enjoyed it.
Good time. Yeah,
I still enjoy it. And I still go back and I watch it for that iconic intro music of his. It's just, oh man, it was so disappointing here. But I summed it up with: don't be a gatekeeper. Let people play how they want, make good content how they want, and just have fun. If they are cheating, though, let me know. We're hearing some rumors of stuff, but without concrete evidence, I'm not going to discuss any accusations that get sent to me without concrete evidence. Yeah.
And
be better.
I think the biggest
Shawshank, I'll let you finish it, mate. Yeah.
So I think it's like, no matter what, at the end of the day, especially with people like JLK, they create content that puts this story in your mind and makes you want to hop back on to a game of this age. You know, they always keep it fresh with these ideas, and even if it is scripted, it's entertaining and it gets people back into you know, the story mode of DayZ. Like, oh, I kind of want to hop back on and experience something and the likes of that, or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
I
these guys are
completely
also
agree, mate.
making big videos. They're not doing short 10 to 20-minute videos. These ones, of nearly everyone he mentioned, they're 40 to 60-minute epic adventures. You know, half of a fucking AAA movie that you go to watch. So they've got to have either an amazing artistic ability to create a good storyline that gets you to watch 60 minutes. And in today's TikTok generation, anything past 60 seconds, keeping their attention span is pretty damned awesome. So, yeah, I downvoted this guy. I think that means it's a downvote the way that it was blue, but I don't know. I don't do Reddit that much, which is probably why I'm still sane. But yeah, so yeah, bit disappointing. But let's move on. Let's move on.